Guys, I'm bringing to the platform. When I say an innovator, when I tell you this individual is an innovator, like none other, honestly, like none other. This is the owner of Digital Radio Tracker, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself, but we're gonna really get into Digital Radio Tracker. Hey,
Hey, Lily Mae, how's it going tonight?
listen, it is amazing, and I'm honored to have you here because you are a busy, sought after individual, and I want to first and foremost thank you, not just for being here, but thank you for your transparency, your approachability, and your platform. On every occasion, I see you at events, you articulate the information, but what I love is that you're there presenting the information, you're there shaking hands, you're there talking directly to independent artists. They don't have to go through anybody to get to you. And I just want to thank you for your humility in a world where people flaunt and throw around titles and accolades. You are one of the very few people who are it. You are it, and you are making it happen. And I just want to let you know, from us to you, we thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate those words. I pride myself. I've been in the industry for 30 years, and I know what it's like being a starving artist. I know what it's like to try to just be heard. And that was one of the things that inspired me to birth Digital Radio Tracker. It's about giving a voice to the unheard. It's about leveling the playing field and being able to offer opportunities to those that may never get it any other way. So we love what we do. And like you said, I don't mind personally going out there, trying to talk to the people, trying to inspire, trying to uplift, trying to give some words of wisdom, coming directly from someone who's invested tons of his own money in this business. I've had the successes and I've had the failures. So I understand what it's like when you're trying to build your own platform, when you're trying to feed your family, when you're trying to build your brand. And that's what DRT stands for. A lot of people have been starting to call it the people's brand more than so much a monitoring companies, because we've taken on a whole life of its own when it comes to the independence, when it comes to individual broadcasters and independent artists that are just trying to get discovered, trying to get their music heard, trying to get out there to anyone that would hear them. So we love being a part of that. Not just for this generation, but we've also seen generations before us actually coming and getting involved in digital streaming radio and the life that podcasts like yours and internet stations and other digital streaming stations around the world have been able to actually present. Just think about it. 20 years ago, there was no consulting time. There was no accessible things like Instagram lives and the reels and the podcasts and the Facebook. All of these things have now allowed all of us to be able to get engaged, to come together, to share knowledge, and to be able to help uplift and build one another. So that's what we love about it. We enjoy what we do, and we just love giving back. I'm excited about this year. We've got a lot of great events that we're going to be participating in. I'm sure I'm going to see you. As a matter of fact, the first event I met you in was the Fleet DJs, right?
Yeah, and you will see. Yep.
We'll be going back to Jacksonville, Florida this year
Yes.
in July. So I will look forward to seeing you again there.
Yes. So, all right, let's go back though. Walk us through the development. You can make it as brief as you can, but how? Because I still, even reading it and really trying to synthesize Digital Radio Tracker, the biggest thing that I pull from it is reporting. But walk us through how you were even able to develop this thing.
Well, that's just, I can't take all of the credit. I'm just the brainchild, the founder of it.
Okay.
It actually started, I come from a radio promotion background. Some people even call me Radio Mike. And I still have my marketing company to this day. And really, to sum it up, it all was really birthed from the desire to be able to be accountable to my clients. What we started seeing happening over the years when we were working radio at terrestrial FM, obviously there's, media-based, Nielsen, BDS, and so forth as far as the monitoring sources for commercial FM. But what we started to see happening over the years was digital streaming radio was coming up, internet radio. You had 100,000 podcasts. All of these different outlets started coming up, and we said, well, wait a minute. You know what? What happens to your music when it goes viral on social media? What happens when DJs share it with other DJs around the world? And what we found was it was getting a lot of play and a lot of support, but nobody was tracking it. There was no real way to monitor what was happening with your music. So therefore, royalties were being lost. Therefore, you weren't able to monetize globally. There's a lot of different things that weren't taking place because no one had the information. So we called a lot of the monitoring companies that existed at the time, and we said, hey, do you guys want to track these stations? They may be smaller. They may not have as many listeners as some of the terrestrial FM, but they're still valid stations that have a voice. There's still real people listening, and they need to be accounted for. And so after a while, nobody wanted to touch it. So everybody started looking at me, and we said, okay, well, wait a minute. You know what? Why don't we try to create a software that's going to allow us to be able to track the records that we're promoting and be able to give our clients some kind of analytics to what their song is doing out here. And so what started to happen when we created the software, what started happening was other associates of mine in the business, other radio promoters started asking me for reports. Well, what is my artist doing? What's going on with the records I'm working? And so we started thinking about it. Well, wait a minute. We can't provide this for everybody, or maybe we can. Let's take the software we developed called Track Tracker, and let's develop a new monitoring platform called Digital Radio Tracker, what became Digital Radio Tracker in 2011. We said, you know what? Now everybody can get reports. Now everybody can find out what's going on with their music. And we developed so many different aspects of it that we understood in the music industry that was lacking. That what separated us from all the other monitoring companies? What do the labels need to know? What do the artists want to know? How can they use this data to monetize their platform and what they're doing? And so I think one of the first reports we pulled that was gratifying, we pulled an artist and we saw they were getting airplay in Australia, way on the other side of the world. And we said, wait, this is something that it's revolutionizing the game. Nobody's doing this. Nobody has this data. There's so many territories like Russia, India, South Africa, Mexico, that nobody in the world but Digital Radio Tracker is monitoring. There's a lot of people there. There's a lot of voices there. There's a lot of radio stations there. And what people didn't even realize, although we're based here in America, is they're playing a lot of American music that nobody even knows. So we said, you know what? We're going to put together a tracking device that's going to be able to listen to those stations, log what they're playing. We're going to be able to provide those analytics to clients. We're going to be able to say, hey, wait a minute. You know what? If you want to go do shows in Africa, they're playing your music over there. Go monetize it. Call those stations, set up interviews, go do tours, work on your marketing plan, be able to take those analytics and take your career to a whole nother level. And that's what excites us when people are able to say, you know what? Wait a minute. I didn't even know I was getting played in Japan or Korea or Spain until I got a DRT report. There was no other monitoring company in the world giving me that information. My distributor wasn't giving it to me. Other monitoring companies wasn't giving it to me. My manager wasn't giving it to me. Nobody was giving it to me. Even major label artists to this day, I meet with so many people. A lot of people follow us on Instagram and they say, man, this guy is everywhere. You know, as a matter of fact, when I did your video, I was out in Vegas and I had an opportunity to talk to Katy Perry. It was crazy because I got invited to go see her residency there, the play tour she's doing. And it was phenomenal. And I had a chance to talk to her. And one of the things that Katy Perry told me, she said, thank you for what you do. And it's just an humbling experience when you have people that are worth millions of dollars. These are major celebrities that are telling you, you know what? They wish that DRT existed years ago, that they were able to really understand what their music was even doing on a global basis. And that's the big thing. This music industry, we're in a global music industry now. It's no longer about the local market. It's no longer about just even your local country. Most of your streams, if you look at your analytics, all the independent artists and labels that are watching this right now, 80 to 90% of your analytics is coming from overseas.
That's it.
It's very, very important. I tell people all the time, the two ways that you're impacting right now with this pandemic going on, nobody's touring overseas. So what's happening is the only way you're going to reach those people is through digital streaming radio and social media. If you're not impacting those things, you're losing a whole audience that those analytics have proven enjoy your music. So why not tap into digital radio and digital streaming radio, which is now the easiest form of radio to break new music? A lot of these guys are very susceptible and open to playing music. They don't have the politics that commercial FM have. They don't have the regulatory in terms of the amount of slots and things for new music. So a lot of the individual podcasts and individual radio stations are able to then take a chance. They're able to give someone that is unheard a voice. And that's what we love about it. I don't care if a station has 100 listeners or 100,000 listeners. We want to monitor you. We want to give you that voice. We want to put you a part of a community where not just major labels, major distributors, but people all around the world can know you exist. That's what it's about for us. So we love doing that here at Digital Radio Track.
Mike, you know what, guys? If you're just checking in, you need to go ahead and share and invite. I can attest to everything that he's saying, period. And you know, one of the things that we love to do here is Consulting Time is make sure that people get the truth and knowledge. Because, you know, people always, especially, and I'm sorry, with our independent artists, primarily, it's like, if you already know they don't have it, why do we exploit them? You created an opportunity for them to get it.
Exactly. And that's what we realize. We're in a DIY society now. The music industry it's all about do it yourself. Everybody's independent. It's not about, well, I got to get signed to a major. Yes, there's certain benefits to being involved in a major label, but in today's industry, it's about getting out there. The platforms are there. The reach is there. Expand your fan base, grow your fan base, be able to build your brand, be able to monetize your brand. There's more artists now in 22 making a living from their music than ever before. It's because there's so many opportunities. It's about taking advantage of it. And like we're doing here tonight, taking advantage of this platform that Miss Lily Mae has so built for us to be able to get the education out, to let people be aware. Because for so long, a lot of independents have been in the dark. All they've known is that major, I've got to do whatever it takes to get that deal. Now you have to wake up and realize, you know what? There is so many ways that you can monetize and build your brand. It's ridiculous. There's so many independent artists making millions of dollars, staying independent and being very successful. And I will add that success is in the eye of the beholder. What we need to stop doing is limiting ourselves based upon our pocket or based upon, better yet, what someone else thinks is success in our eyes. We have to look at ourselves as being successful, because little did I know 10 years ago when I birthed Digital Radio Tracker that I would be building a global brand.
Yes.
We're not just talking about labels in America. We're talking to labels in Europe, labels in Australia, labels in Asia. I couldn't even imagine just beyond years ago that I would even be doing that to this day. I couldn't imagine that Digital Radio Tracker would bring me before great people like a Katy Perry, a Carrie Underwood. I mean, so many major artists. I mean, the heavy metal band Metallica. It brought tears to my eyes when they talked to me about Digital Radio Tracker, and they said, you know what? Just thank you so much for what you do for this industry, the opportunities that you're creating for the future bands. I mean, that just blew me away, because these people have sold hundreds of millions of records, have toured the world, and have all the resources at their disposal, but yet they looked at what I consider to be a very small company, an idea that just came to me and said, hey, you know what? We're going to do this, even though we don't have the millions of dollars that it takes to really, really get a technology company like this out there. I said, you know what? God told me, he said, you know what? Take what's in your hand and start with that. Continue to mold that, craft that, and put that out there and watch what I do. And I will put you before great people. And I mean, I've been able to talk to Michelle Obama. I've been able to talk to the Clintons. I've been able to see all kinds of people that I couldn't even almost imagine being in the same room with, much less being able to share my vision. I think one of the greatest meetings I ever had was right before the pandemic. The last person that I was able to sit and talk to was Oprah Winfrey. I couldn't even believe it. I mean, here you got a $3 billion woman. I mean, you can't even imagine, like, am I even in the same room as this person? And one of the things that Oprah told me that I'll never forget, she said, keep doing what you're doing. She said, everybody else is so yesterday. You are today. You are now. Don't stop. And I'll never forget that. And I said, you know what? Coming from Oprah Winfrey, I mean, of all people,
Listen,
it's going to resonate. You can't even gotta say no more.
fact.
But the fact that she spoke that into my life, and then what made it even more crazy for me was she said, let's take a picture. And I didn't even know it until after I got the picture from her photographer. And she pointed at the picture, she pointed at the camera as if to say, watch out for this guy. He's next.
That's
I mean,
it.
I was blown away. And so even to this day, as I tell that story, I say, I couldn't even ever have imagined, if you'd have asked me 20 years ago, I'd be talking to Oprah Winfrey, like, what in the world? I mean, I wouldn't even believe it. I'm like, get out of here.
Yes.
And so this company, and I share those examples to let people know it's a part of my testimony. I don't say it to boast or brag or anything. It's to let people know that if it can happen for me, it can happen for you, man. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. I couldn't even dream the things that that are happening now, the people that are reaching out to me. And that's what you want. When you're building and you're growing, it may seem like you're not getting anywhere. It may seem like nobody's paying attention. It may seem like nobody cares, but you got to keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop no matter what. A lot of what will happen, your blessing is right around the corner. It's about being consistent. And what most people do is they give up on their blessing before it manifests. And that's the one thing that I've always said to anybody that can hear my voice is I'm a living testimony of it, that I won't stop. I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep working. Like you said, when we open this call up, I'm everywhere. I don't care. I'm going to make my presence known, whether everybody knows who I am or not. I'm going to go where I need to go. I'm going to show up. Most of the time, people must meet their blessings because they don't show up. Just like right now, whoever's on this call hearing it, I'm telling you, one of the things that blew me away, and you can look this up, I didn't even realize it until they tagged me. Last year, me and you were at the Fleet DJ Music Conference in Jacksonville, Florida. During the pandemic, there was, about 400 or 500 people there. And they asked me to speak for a few minutes in between some of the panels. And I said, okay, well, let me just share a little bit in a few minutes. And after that, and we all left Jacksonville, an individual, I don't even know who this guy was, he posted on Instagram, and it wasn't that I needed to know who he was, it was what he said.
Okay.
He said, he posted a picture of me, and it's still on Instagram now. I think it's a DJ Q45 or somebody. He said, if you missed this part of the music conference, you made $1 million mistake.
Hello, somebody.
And I mean, I'm hoping he's going to be at the Fleet DJ conference next, this year when it happens again, because I'm going to personally look for that guy, because apparently something I said resonated with him. And that's what it's about for me. I want to thank him personally and shake his hand, because even though I only spoke for a few minutes, for me, it's about lives. It's not about money. It's not about things. It's about lives. And the fact that I touched, if that was the only, and that's why I brought this up, if he was the only person that I touched when I spoke at the Fleet DJ conference, it was worth everything, every penny that I invested in going there. It was worth the entire 3 days that I was there. It was worth everything to me to touch that one life. And that's what it's got to be about. For those that are listening, it's got to be about more. It's got to be bigger than yourself. And even with what you're doing, Lily Mae, we didn't really know each other. You reached out. You said, hey, you know what? I would love to have you on the show. We scheduled this, what was it, 2 months ago?
We did.
And people don't realize everybody's busy, but you got to get scheduled in. It's possible. Anything is possible. And little did you know, as we passed each other in the hallway in Jacksonville, Florida, that we would be on this call February 8th, 22.
Listen, let me say this. Today was an interesting day, because all day long I was battling with, why is it that those of us who really do it for purpose seemingly have to be everywhere and fight so hard for people to really understand. And you know, Mike, you hit the nail on the head. We have to be everywhere because he's everywhere. Do you follow what I'm saying?
That's right.
We have to, because I remember, and I've heard it plenty of times, you know, people have said that to me, you're everywhere.
That's right.
But he's everywhere. And if you're doing it for the purpose, and if you're really doing it for the business of helping the people that need to be helped, you would be everywhere too, instead of the places that make you look like you're really doing something. So, Mike, I thank you for being everywhere. I thank you for being here. I thank you for Digital Radio Tracker. So, guys, if y'all have not signed up, get over there to digitalradiotracker.com. You need to sign up yesterday. That's all I'm saying. Like, seriously. You have
There's so many things. I mean, we would probably have to do a part 2 to this. There's
many
benefits.
Indeed.
Yeah, there's so many things that Digital Radio Tracker does for artists. There's so many things that we offer. We offer a free searchable database. There's no other broadcast monitoring company in the world that offers it for free. You can go right now on our website, put an artist name in, put a song title in, and you'll be able to see if they're getting airplay or not completely for free. You know, if you don't see them come up in the search, obviously that means there's no airplay. So something as simple as that can be a tool that can be utilized. You know, we also created something we launched last year called the DRT certified plaques. We are the first company in the world, not just to do plaques. Everybody's got plaques, but what we created, you see some of them on the wall behind me in this particular office that I'm in, is that the difference between our plaques and other plaques is we have augmented reality technology in the plaques. I wish I can actually show it to you. Where in the plaques, we also have the technology where you can scan the plaque, it plays your music video in the plaque. So that's something that's never been done before.
Hold on. Go back. One more time. What?
We use augmented reality technology, AR technology, at an affordable price. We're the only plaque in the world that it does. It's not just a plaque on your wall. It's a plaque you can scan with any smart device, and it will play your music video in the plaque. All the RIA plaques, all the Spotify plaques, any kind of plaques that exist in the music industry, there's not one plaque but a Digital Radio Tracker plaque that does what we do. Like you said when the show opens, we're innovators. We do things that have never been done before. We're going to be the first broadcast monitoring company, and you heard it here first. We're developing the technology now to monitor ministries, to monitor mix shows on a national basis, where individuals will then be able to get the credit for their syndicated shows. Whereas right now, all the monitoring companies are only monitoring the songs. So if you're DJ XYZ and you have a mix show that's 30-minute long and it gets played on 20 internet stations, you deserve the credit for it. You deserve to get paid for that. You deserve to know and be able to prove to your sponsors and advertisers that, hey, you know what? My show is really being played in all of these cities, all of these territories. Therefore, you're able to take that data and monetize it and build your brand as a DJ, as an individual podcaster, or whatever it may be. There's so many things to this that people don't realize that it's a blessing if it's utilized the right way. And that's what we've learned. With Digital Radio Tracker, we pride ourselves on the 3 main things that people invest in. That's technology, information, and entertainment. We are all 3 of those things in one company. So our focus is a little different than a lot of other companies. Is we want to be that source for that DIY artist, that DIY independent label that says, hey, wait a minute, you know what? Wait a minute. Okay, no disrespect to the billboards and everybody that was before us. But what we want this generation to do is to embrace the Digital Radio Tracker and say, hey, wait a minute, you know what? I want to be on the DRT charts. I want one of those DRT plaques. I want to be able to show my friends. I want to be able to show people that come into the studio or office that, hey, my video can play it. I want to be able to have what's today, like Oprah said, the now, the today. And that's what most people don't focus on. They're so caught up in holding on to yesterday they miss their blessing of today. And that's why I always try to inspire people and motivate people to say, you know what, Lily Mae, keep doing what you do. It's not just consultant time, it's your time. You just have to keep building and keep growing and don't let go. I don't care if there's only one person watching this podcast right now. That's one person more than yesterday. Tomorrow, go get another person. The next day, go get another person and continue to keep building and grow your brand. And before you know it, even somebody like me, you may not have time for me anymore to bring me on as a guest because you'll be so booked up. Everybody be breaking down your door trying to get a little piece of its consulting time because this is your vision. This is your brand. This is what you're doing. And that's what it should be about. And there should be people pounding down the doors and saying, hey, wait a minute. You know what? However many people you have listening and watching this, it does not matter. It's about growth. It's about building because so many people are quick to judge, quick to evaluate and say, hey, wait a minute. You know what? If you don't have X amount of listeners, if you don't have X amount of viewers, if you don't have X amount of this, and that's what I don't like about the counting system that this industry has put. You got views on YouTube, you got streams on Spotify, you got all of these number counters that gets everybody psychological.
Everything can be, and you know what, Mike, you're so right. Everything can be fudged. I think people forget everything can be fudged.
But what it's about is real lives. It's not about showing somebody, hey, I got 100 million views, 100 million streams. What it's about, you know, even if you only have 10,000, it's 10,000 real people that are engaging with you. It's 10,000 real lives that you influence, that you touch, that you make a difference with. And that can go far greater than a fluff number and nobody cares. Or like we say in the music industry, you can't get arrested. What it's about is making sure that you are really impacting real people. And that's why we believe in what we do. We say, wait a minute, DRT is here to be a voice to the unheard. We want to make sure that, you know what, even if others don't care about you, we care about you. We want to make a difference. That's why everything we do, we make it affordable. Because for us, it's not about selling reports at $100, $200 a report. It's about making it accessible and affordable for people to say, hey, wait a minute, you know what? I'm a starving artist. I'm working at here at Jack in the Box. I'm just trying to get on. I'm trying to get my music heard. I want to be reachable, accessible. That's why we say it's a DIY industry like Home Depot. You can go to Home Depot and buy any supplies you need to fix your house. This is what DRT is. We are that Home Depot. We want to be that base where independent artists and labels can say, hey, wait a minute, you know what? I need to get somebody on the phone. I need to get a question answered. I need help with this. I need to be able to monetize this one station that's playing me. How do I take this one station and turn it into 10 stations? Well, DRT is here to help you with that. That's what it's about. Help you grow your brand. And ultimately, we help you grow your brand. We're going to grow our brand in the process. So that's what it's about.
You know, Mike, I'm going to say this publicly. What we're going to do is my CEO, you know, shout out to Frank Mosley, CEO of Skyfall Records. He's not on right now, but we're going to have an entire conversation. Do you understand what I'm saying? We're going to have a conversation because we're going to talk about this. It's time. I'm with you 110%. It's time for us to really make it happen. Like, thank you so much for speaking about the truth,
Lily
the
Mae,
numbers.
One of the things, not to interrupt you, but if I try to tell people, we built a community of over 5,000 radio stations globally, and it's growing. We want to continue to help build that base. You're not alone. You need to network with other podcasters, with other internet stations. People need to help each other grow their brands.
Yes.
That's what we do. It's not a you against me, me against you type thing. That mindset has to get nipped in the bud. So many people don't get it. They don't realize that we're much stronger working together than we are apart. And that's what it's about. It's some strength in numbers. It's being able to build and grow, because as brands grow and grow together, you eat together and you live long together. You can be more successful that way. So that's one of the things that DRT was founded on, that principle. We were able to build a multi-million-dollar ecosystem off of just an idea. It wasn't about making millions of dollars for us. I don't get a paycheck. I've said it publicly on the many. I love what I do. I live off of my marketing company. DRT is giving back. People don't realize that. That's what it's about. It's beyond the tide. I don't just give 10%. We're giving 100% back, because what we want to do is we want to be able to allow others. And that's what it was about for me. When I founded Digital Radio Tracker in August 2011, I said, wait a minute, God, I want to create a platform. I want to create something that's going to allow not myself, that's going to allow thousands of people around the world to eat, to benefit, to be able to feed their families, to be able to grow their brands, to be able to be a blessing to other people. That's what I wanted to create it for. It wasn't about make me shine. People don't even realize I wasn't on a magazine cover until last year. It was 10 years in before I allowed anybody to even know that I was behind DRT. Everybody kept saying, you know what? Somebody's got to be the face. Somebody's got to get out there. And I said, no. It's the people's brand. It's not about me. It's not about me. And nobody wanted to do it. They said, okay, somebody's got it's getting too big now. People are talking. Somebody has to show up and say, hey, this is real. And okay, that's when I stepped out. So, and look at what God did. We don't even have a publicist. Do you know this is what hard work will do. I'm featured with Digital Radio Tracker on 34 magazine covers.
Yes, I know that.
And you've seen some. It's never been done before. I couldn't even believe it. There is not, you go ask anybody. There's no artist, there's no company, there's no record company. I have yet to see it happen. I couldn't believe it. And you know what it all started? It all started with one magazine that called me, called Industry Certified. I'll say who it is, out of Atlanta. Had called and said, man, we want to do a feature on you. We love what you guys are doing, and we want to do a feature on you. And I said, okay. And they wind up doing a 10-page spread in their magazine. And from there, we wind up getting 34 magazine covers, 2 more, plus 2 more mentions on covers in 6 months. And I couldn't even believe it. Still to this day, I couldn't believe it. And I said, you know what? I said, even without a publicist, see, I thought I have to go hire somebody. I thought we got to go get the biggest PR firm in LA and New York. But I say that not to brag. I say that to show an example of what hard work can do and the doors that can open for you.
There's a difference. Let me tell you something. And guys, we're gonna start winding down. But
as a matter of fact, here's the magazine right here. I just mentioned Industry Certified.
Wow.
This is the magazine that has the 10-page spread.
Yes, I know. You know what? I know exactly who he is now. Yes.
It's crazy. Here's Street Fame. I mean, there's so many of them. And like I said, again, I'm thankful to all of these publications that came in and really supported us and understood the vision and wanted to help us get the message out.
Yes.
Because I'll be honest with you, Lily Mae, I could have spent tens of thousands of dollars with PR firms and probably only gotten a couple covers and stories and things. But this just goes to show you, like we said when we started this call, when you show up, God will show up. And that's what he did.
That's it.
When I answered that call and I told that guy, I put him off for almost a year. And I said, you know what? Okay, you know what? Let's do this thing. And he finally said, okay, fine. And it snowballed from there. And it's been a blessing. It just, as a matter of fact, cover 34 is coming out this week. It's in Indie Global out of the Bay Area. It's coming out this week. And I said, you know what? I said, this is incredible. I said, you know what? I mean, maybe we need to get a publicist around here. I don't know. But it just goes to show that hard work pays. It goes to show that when you don't quit, even though it's 10 years now, I keep reminding people of that. If this is 10 years ago, 10 years in the making, and look at what's starting to transpire. I'm on the Lily Mae podcast. I mean, that's a blessing. You know, people don't realize that you've got to keep going. It doesn't matter. You can't get arrogant and say, you know what? Oh, it's not the Oprah Winfrey show. It's not the Ellen DeGeneres show. I'm not going on that. No, you have to understand it's about lives, one life at a time. So if there's one person here, you pick up 10 people. Here you pick up 100 people. Here you pick up. One of the things that I'm very proud to say is that there's so many people that know about Digital Radio Tracker. We don't even really advertise.
Yeah, you don't have to.
is if you go ask 9 out of 10 people in the music industry, have you at least heard of this company? Have you heard of these guys? Have you seen a chart? Have you seen a report? Have you seen anything? And they'll say, yes, they've heard of it. I mean, some of the top executives in offices, people have said, have you met with this art? Have you met with this major label? Have you met with, and I say, no, I haven't. And they say, well, they were talking about you at Sony's offices. They were talking about you guys at Universal. I say, you know what? Thank you, Lord, is what I say. Thank you for allowing ears to be unclogged, for people to speak up, because that's what most people don't do, is they don't speak up on people. I'm going to speak up on Lily Mae. I'm going to speak up on It's Consultant Time. I'm going to tell people they need to tune into your show. They need to support your show, whether it's sending donations, whether it's run advertising. They need to keep you going and let you do what you do best. That's what it's about, is people don't speak up on people enough. That's what I firmly believe.
That's the truth.
And I always said to myself, I was one of those individuals that used to go in the corner and cry, and why doesn't anybody believe in me? And why doesn't anybody want to invest in me and invest in my vision and just, and then God told me something, he said, you know what? Nobody has to. You do it.
You invest in your own.
You
that's
put your hand
the
to work
truth.
and quit waiting on someone else to do it. And that's what so many people do. And I'll be honest with you. I'll say it publicly. I think I've said it on one other podcast. Digital Radio Tracker started with a vision and $5,000. It's now a multi-million-dollar company. I started with $5,000 and a vision, and now we've built an ecosystem that people around the world is able to eat off of. It's a blessing. I don't say that to brag. I say that as a testimony, because I'm hoping somebody hears this and say, wait a minute, I got an idea and I got $5 or $10. Let me take that idea and let me make a difference out here, because all it takes is one idea. All opportunities count. Anybody listening to me, write this down. All opportunities count, but one opportunity makes the difference. And you got to be willing to take that risk, take that chance on that one opportunity, because you don't know where
we get that out there. All opportunities count, but
one opportunity makes the difference.
Mike, you know what? Yes, there will be a part 2, and prayerfully we can do it live and in real time. Like, and I mean side by side, even if I have to come to the studio, like I'm thank you.
You know what? And we will. You know, this call, we wind up, and I love this call, and it's going to be a blessing to somebody, because we really didn't spend a lot of time talking about DRT. And that's not what it's about. You know, and that's what people always have to understand and realize, that you have a lot of people get on there and they sell you stuff and pitch you stuff and this. That's not what it's about. It's about having a great conversation like we had tonight. It's being able to allow voices to be heard and blessings to flow. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. As a matter of fact, you know what we need to do? Let's plan on it. In Jacksonville, Florida, I'll commit you on the show. Let's do a lot together. We're gonna find us a corner. We're gonna do something, and we're gonna make it happen. And
that lobby was nice. I like that lobby.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful.
Weren't they nice?
Oh yeah, it was beautiful. We're gonna do us a part 2, and that will give us some time to circulate. That'll give your listeners some time to say, hey, wait a minute, you know what? That next one you're not gonna want to miss, because the next one we're gonna take off of this, and we're gonna really get these questions. I'm sure you got viewers that got questions. Let them send it in, and we will put it together and make it happen.
And I'm waiting for your webinars.
Yeah, so, I've been hounding about that for a while, and you know what? We may have to talk about that. We may have to talk about that. Yes. You know, there's several people that have been telling me about it, and I said, you know what? It's having the time, it's having the right team together to say, hey, you know what? We're gonna put these things together for you. But in the meantime, we got It's Consulting Time. So that's the podcast for today.
Guys, listen. I don't know if you know, but if you don't know now, you know. DigitalRadioTracker.com. Go sign up. Make sure you research the entity and support. Mike, thank you, and thank you 10 times over. We will stay in contact. And also, we will broadcast live from Jacksonville, Florida in July, baby.
All right. It's a day. Thank you, Lily Mae. You stay blessed. You stay blessed. And we will talk more soon.
Absolutely. Guys, I knew Mike was going to bring it, but the thing about it is, He spoke volumes. Stop allowing people to define you by your numbers. Because the reality is this: if social media could really talk, a whole lot of people wouldn't be here. Have a great evening, ladies and gentlemen.